A little-known chapter of history is illuminated in this exploration of gays and lesbians in World War II.
I do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
I was interested in the adventure and the excitement. I mean, I just was going to save the world, for democracy. My mother protested because I was a nice young lady from a good family, and I was expected to go to college and get married, not go to the Navy.
That all statements made by me.
That all statements made by me.
As now given in this record.
As now given in this record.
Are correct.
Are correct.
I didn't hear anything about being queer when I went in. I didn't even know what the word existed when I went in the Navy. It just wasn't part of the vocabulary or part of the conversation.
You went into an office with I guess he was a psychiatrist, I don't know, and he had some more questions. Of course, one of the questions he asked me was how I felt about girls, and I said, I like them, I'm engaged to be married. He said, oh, fine, and that was it. He never asked me how I felt about men, or I would have told him I like them too.
Do you date men? Do you like men? Have you had sex with men? How come you haven't had sex? And I remember I said, well, I was brought up to believe that one didn't have sex until they were married. And that was a perfectly acceptable answer. And it was true, too. I was brought up that way.
We just lined up and they looked at us. You know, it was very unnerving, and I kept thinking, my God, are they going to see something? Is there some kind of a telltale thing, you know, that a doctor can look at you and say, ha ha, there's one.
Here to accept producer-director Arthur Dawn.
I began making films about a decade ago, and since then I always heard about the Peabody Awards, and I was told I should strive to get one because it was important, and I didn't quite know what that meant, so I went around and made films anyway. So having sat here the last few hours, I'm beginning to realize the responsibilities that I have now if ever I call myself a Peabody Award winner. So thank you for another added pressure. When we set out to make Coming Out in the Fire, we wanted to do many things. Amongst them, we wanted to look at World War II through the eyes of a group of citizens whose stories were never told, and that is the gay, lesbian, and bisexual community here in America. We also wanted to look at a chapter of history and look at how policies are made and regulated and executed to control groups of citizens here and to create a second class of citizens. I'd like to thank Alan Barabee, who wrote the book on which the film was based, and his 10 years of investigative research in order to uncover many documents that were once top secret. I also like to thank the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Independent Television Service, and the National Endowment for the Arts, who funded this program back in 1992 when funding for diverse voices in the arts were truly coming out under fire. As we know, making a film is just half the battle, and I'd like to thank PBS for offering the program to its member stations. And depending on how you want to see it, only a minority of the stations picked it up to actually air and offer to their viewers. And I hope that this Peabody, what it may do, I hope, is to, besides looking nice on my wall, is to tell the other stations who didn't program the film that this indeed is an important chapter of American history and to offer it to its viewers. Thank you.